When setting up an IEP or individual education plan, we're thinking about goals that are to be met by the student. These goals can be linked to specific subjects, outcomes, and indicators that define the specific part of the curriculum that the goals relate to. Navigate to Plans, then Plans Setup, then Plan Types. Plans can be very simple or very detailed. To see the basic structure of any plan, it's helpful to set one up without adding any extra sections so that you can see what's in it already and then decide on how much extra information you'd like to record. I'll type in New IEP and click Add. It's important to note that this top section is the same for all plan types. Here's the name we just gave to this plan type. Underneath, we need to select the appropriate template. Given that this is an IEP, I'll select IEP. Then make selections here as needed. Consider whether you need a signature, or whether this plan is confidential, or whether you're going to show it in either the student or parent portal, or whether you need to make this plan type hidden from your users for some reason. Remember, you will need to complete this same top section for each plan type that you create. Click Save. Down the bottom, you can see that I now have the opportunity to add sections. Before we consider adding sections to this plan, let's see what it would look like just as it is for the moment. To do that, I'll have to assign a student to this plan. Search for a student and then click on New IEP, which is the plan type we just created. Again, this information at the top will be the same for each plan that you create. Moving down the page, you can see two other sections which are common to all plans. The Plan Details section includes a creation date, whether there were any people consulted in the creation of this plan, any background and interests that may be relevant, and any other additional information. The Plan Resolution section allows for further comments, a review date, and a selection to indicate whether the plan is completed or not. Between these two, you can see the section for adding goals, which is the purpose of an IEP. Let's add one and try the goal of improve verbal communication skills. The key learning area will be English, and we'll select Stage 6. We'll match this to an outcome. P7 looks relevant to this goal. Then nominate some strategies to help achieve this goal. And then we can add some additional support and resources and make note of how we might evaluate this plan. I could add more goals, but we'll leave it at 1 for this example. Then click Save. Now you can see that this is the plan in its most basic form. But we could add further sections and details. Let's add another section. Going back to Plans Setup, click again on New IEP. I'll add a section called Special Considerations. Now I have the chance to enter relevant details for this section. Click Add Detail. I'll add a detail called Needs Reading Assistance, and for this detail type, I'll select Yes, No. Now I'll add another detail, and we'll make this a different detail type. Let's enter in Comments from School Counselor. We'll make this a text area detail type. Given that this is a verbal communication goal, there may be some anxieties involved with that, and so there may be some relevant comments to add here. And remember, we are creating this as an example only. If I need to reorder these details, I can grab them with the hamburger icon and move them up and down. Now let's see what this looks like. Let's find that student again. Click on New IEP. Moving down the page, I can see the new section for Special Considerations. But there isn't anything to show here yet. To specify details, I'll need to click Edit. Then I can make that Yes/No selection and enter any school counselor comments if that's relevant. Teachers referring to this plan can then use this information to help the students achieve their goal of improved verbal communication. Now, you'll notice that when I set up the details for the Special Considerations section, that there were several options for the detail types. I chose Yes/No and text area, but there are other options. I could have selected a multiple selection, single selection, or yes/no with text area, the date, or a table. Each of these options provides a different way to record information for this detail, and of course, that will depend very much on the plan type you're creating and what the intended purpose is. Going back one screen, you can see that quite a bit of work has gone into creating just 2 details. You can add as many details as you like, and this could indeed make the plan very comprehensive. When creating plan types for your school, you may wish to keep them simple at first, and then add sections and details as necessary.